Hello my friends and welcome back to our continued blind Let's Play 111 for the PC. My name is FlightlessBird, this is your story-based gaming channel, and today, well, we are trying to figure out who the killer is. And it's weird because I say that and yet there's been no deaths yet. However, in the last episode we came over it by dying, which means someone did kill us. So even though there is not someone who's killed yet, unless Linda is dead, but we don't know that yet. We do know there's a killer. And we also know that because if you remember the way we came over the first time, we found out that there were a bunch of people who were killed. Question is, who's the killer? My initial thoughts are two possibilities. Either the girl that we brought with us, which is Amanda, because she could have had every capable opportunity, I think that's what I'm trying to say, to push us off the cliff. Or two, the girl that's missing, Linda. Linda may have planted the garment, so when we leaned over to try to see her, she rushes out and then pushes off the cliff. It could be one of those two young ladies, or it could be someone completely else. Who is the killer at the restaurant? Only one way to find out. That's just to keep on playing, so let's dive into it, shall we? I hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic day today. I'm not going to read the description because I don't want to be spoiled by anything in case it tells me something I shouldn't know. But we have Henry here in yellow, Renata in orange. These are the two that basically are a part of the restaurant. We have the ladies who came, who is Amanda, the girl who chose us based on our decisions. Agatha, who is probably my favorite. I love the green eyes, and she just looks so cool. Donna, or Dana, in purple. Linda in black. She's the one that's missing. Amelia in blue, the sportswoman who hates our guts. And then in addition to the 5 females, we have the 5 males. Of course, us being the 5th, or the 1st. We have Alexander in red. Justin in... He doesn't really get a color. I guess he's the noir color. Sort of like Linda in a way. Martin in blue, or Martin. And Robert, or Robert, in that cool little bluish light hue. I really like the color of that. Last time we went right, which was a bad idea, and it's weird because I always say left is always right, and yet I somehow went right. So this time, let's make sure we don't do that. Let's go left. Parking. The parking lot was through the woods, and the treetops provided some protection from the downpour. But there was another problem. Once again, I mentally scolded the builders for not making trivial low tides along the pass. One of the cars had a flashing red light, which from a distance I mistook for a parking light. It turned out to just be an alarm light. The option that the missing person just locked herself in a warm car to wait out for the storm seemed most logical to me.
I thought the rain had swept you away. You're a few steps away, and you can't see a thing.
I did turn down the music slightly. I don't know if it helps or not, but hopefully you can hear it clearly. Yeah, it's not going to be easy to find a girl with that kind of visibility. Which one of these cars is yours? Plus, she's wearing black in nighttime in a storm. Ooh. Justin reached into his pocket and the white sedan close to those flashed its lights in greeting. Justin pointed to his car. Okay, that's what that beep was. That was him hitting the button on the car. We walked over together and he opened his trunk. In the center of it was a large open first aid bag. Its contents scattered all over the bottom. Tourniquets and vials for injections were lying around, along with traffic cones, a jack, and a nachos bag. A half-drunk bottle of whiskey was sticking out of the fire extinguisher pit. Justin somehow got 2 heavy flashlights out of the trunk. A rubberized handle, a full metal body, thick waterproof glass, and the simplest design. They don't sell these in regular stores. Justin turned on his flashlight, and I saw the lattice partition between the driver's seat and the rear passenger seats.
Terrible storm, huh, buddy? Last time I saw a storm like this was when we were taking on drug dealers.
Drug dealers? You didn't say you worked for the police.
So I work part-time now and then. I'm on vacation.
Okay, maybe the noir thing is very apt for him. He's a detective, or so he claims to be a detective. Oh, you can tell by the truck's decorations. Justin clearly didn't appreciate my joke.
You don't like something?
It's creepy. It's fine, I love creative chaos. The tool does not tolerate the mess. I do love creative chaos, so sure.
Sarcasm.
Justin slammed the trunk.
Let's light the cars. You take the left side of the parking lot, I'll take the right one. You don't know what kind of car she has, by the way.
Nope. I have no idea. We walked quickly around the parking lot, and to my disappointment, all the cars were empty. Judging by Justin's sour expression, he was sick of the weather. All for a girl he didn't know. Back in the day, after such exploits, she should have been taken as a wife.
Let's go back.
I want to go further. Maybe she got stuck at the exit of the bridge. Sounds like a bad idea. Oh, let's go for it. I should probably save first. How do I save? Giant button that says save. Duh. Yeah, maybe she got stuck at the exit of the bridge.
Don't slip there. I'll pass. My teeth are already chattering.
I glanced around the cars again. The thought occurred to me that no matter how much a car costs, the sound of raindrops on the roof always sounds the same. There was a bridge behind me that connected the island to the city. I decided it would be a good idea to check it out, shrinking from the cold, so I headed over there. The bridge was ruined. I didn't know what I was expecting to see here, but not this. As I took another step, I felt my shoes filled with water. At first, I thought I had stepped in a huge puddle, but then the lantern light illuminated the river, which had broken its banks. We were cut off from the outside world by a rushing river, like in some Hollywood disaster movie. We need to hurry back and tell about it. No Linda or her car. I sighed, looking back at the suction bridge that I had used to get there earlier in the day. What was I hoping for? Meh. On the other hand, now I could warm myself by the fireplace with a clear conscience. After turning out the nearly dead flashlight and pulling the hood of my raincoat tighter and tighter, I staggered back. Look at that lightning. I followed Justin down the road through the woods. Honestly, it was pretty creepy being in the tall trees in the near total darkness. It was the very thing that made me want to turn off the trail and look for Linda. If she's lost here, I should at least try to find her. I'd hate to be led out in the rain somewhere between the spruces. Searching the woods wasn't the best idea. For one thing, no one in the right mind would go into the woods in this weather. And for another, even Justin's flashlight wasn't enough to ensure visibility right now. I decided to go back to the restaurant before I got cold all over myself. I returned to the restaurant and found myself in the long-awaited warmth. Everyone fell silent as the door slammed behind me. As the door behind me slammed shut. They stared at me intently until Henry finally said,
"We thought you two were missing too, but since you're back, only Justin's missing."
Wait, Justin's not missing? He still hasn't come? We took the lantern, so I decided to check the bridge, and Justin went to your place.
Why are you divided?
I want to look around some more. I reached the bridge. The news is bleak. It's gone completely underwater and there's no way through. But I didn't see anybody on the way back. Agatha looked at me incredulously. Noticing the lantern in my hand, she carefully inquired,
Did Justin give you his flashlight, or did he take both and wander off in the dark?
What are you alluding to? There were two flashlights we split up. Yeah, that one. I've looked thoroughly. We can't get out. The bridge is destroyed and the river is out of its banks. On my way back, I looked through the woods. There was definitely no one there, and it was almost impossible to be in the woods in this weather. But I decided to make sure anyway. I didn't want to just leave Linda. No one ever found her, by the way. There was a pause in the air. The people present glared at me. Every single one of them seemed to be thinking something in their heads, but they didn't dare say it until Renata uttered,
Henry, he needs to know everything.
Whoa, what?
I agree. I don't even know where to start. We found Linda. She's dead.
So there goes her being the killer, Flightless.
What? Are you kidding me? This is no joke. She was stabbed in the smoking room. Multiple wounds. She was murdered.
Okay, so she was stabbed. Where did you find her? You just said in the smoking room.
I found it in the smoking room about half an hour ago. There is so much blood.
Crimson Storm is a good headline.
Dana, please have some compassion.
Rest in peace, little one.
When I arrived, there were tourists sitting here. Surely some of them could have stayed. We are not alone on this island.
So they didn't leave.
It's possible that some of the tourists decided to stay on the island.
So the killer is out there, and we're safe here.
I don't know about that.
It doesn't mean anything.
There really are a lot of tourists here, and locals often walk along the coast and look at the lighthouse. But that's a murderess.
Startled by what she heard, Amanda swallowed her saliva with difficulty. The boys, on the other hand, continued their remarks.
He or they may have intentionally stayed here.
Everyone looked questioningly at Robert.
Don't scare the girls. I know what you mean, though. Are you implying that the murderer intentionally stayed on the island?
Hey, weirdo. Are you implying that the murderer stayed on the island on purpose?
Hey, it's got a lot of victims here.
That is right. The hurricane trapped us in an unfamiliar place. We barely know each other. I think this is the perfect hunting ground.
Yep. I'm with Robert on that one. He's got a point.
Oh gosh.
Agatha came up and hugged Amanda, who was terrified. It made me uncomfortable too, knowing that someone had killed Linda. On top of that, she was killed in a few meters of us. I looked around. It was obvious that the killer is more likely one of us than someone wandering in the dark outside. Even a crazy man would not commit atrocities in such a hurricane.
Maybe it's a maniac or a serial killer.
Amelia sat blankly on the sofa by the fireplace. Her gaze slowly slid around the room, looking at us. You know what this does remind me of? The movie Identity. If you've never seen the movie Identity, I think it starred John Cusack, maybe, question mark? But the idea is you have a bunch of people who's stuck at a hotel during like a thunderstorm. And one person is going around and killing people. Now, if I told you anything more about the movie, it would spoil the entire movie. Just know it's a really, really cool murder mystery suspense movie. But that's what this kind of reminds me of.
What? Just like Jack the Ripper? He waited for this weather and stayed on the island on purpose to slaughter everyone?
I don't know if that's exactly like Jack the Ripper. I mean, there's a lot more goes into Jack the Ripper than that, but sure. I mean, big serial murderer. I guess if you ask people, like, identify a serial killer that you know, Jack the Ripper would probably be up there. I would go with H.H. Holmes more myself, but I can understand that. When he said that, he smiled and fixed his hair. He showed us that he knows better than we do how to behave in such situations. I think the one that's behaving the best is that cat. The cat is... Suddenly, Amelia creaked up from the couch and walked to the center of the room.
So, what do we do now?
There would be the ultimate plot twist, is that this game is actually like a fantasy game and the cat is a human, or like a witch that can change from human to cat, and the cat's going around and killing people, and at the end of the day we'll find out, you know, what's going on.
Is she in the dirt there?
Dana pointed her hand in the direction of the wall behind, which was the smoking room.
Yeah, that girl is in the smoking room. Can we move the body?
No way. I understand that it's a scary situation, however. If she was killed, it's a crime scene, and we better stay away from it.
Of course. To law enforcement, we are all likely murderers. The body should be left untouched by us.
It's not a body, she is a living person. Her name is Linda, and I spoke with her just an hour ago.
Yeah.
Agatha, I understand you. But we can't help her and will only complicate the investigation. Justin, How can a policeman examine a corpse? By the way, it turns out he never came back.
Why do people ask questions they know the answer to? Renata came to the window as if she could see something in the gloom of night. Amanda looked awkwardly under the table as if Justin might just be playing hide and seek with us. Amelia sat with her feet up on the couch and started looking in her bag. A second later, she pulled out her gum and stood up, heading straight out the door. The rest of us were scattered. I guess they too needed time to digest the news like me. This music's great. I like the lighting effect here as well. Oh, we can do a lot of things here. Yeah, go outside, go to the kitchen. Should probably start talking to people first. Like I said, left is always right. Robert sat apart, wrapped up in some sort of cloak tent that he God knows where he found. When was the last time you saw Justin? Talk to Robert, yeah. What just happened? You don't look shocked. Something happened there. He disappeared. Did you see him else at the parking lot?
After dating? No, I wasn't paying attention. But if you're interested in my opinion, be careful of the host.
Maybe a glitch there or something. It's okay. With Henry, but why?
This house, he may be full of secrets, mysteries, weapons.
Good point.
He knows it in its surroundings better than any of us. We are in his world now, and only he has a reason.
Or maybe it wasn't a glitch. Maybe I just talked to Robert and it said, okay, you're talking to Robert. Here's your options. Maybe that's what it was.
The ability to see cause rather than effect is the source of wisdom. We have all seen each other for the first time. A murder. Murder is a personal matter, but the death of a couple of girls at the host lighthouse. A bloody, brutal massacre in the darkness of the night.
The death of a couple of girls?
Do you see these headlines in the local?
Oh, I see what he's saying.
Can you think of a more intriguing advertisement? I assure you, by the end of the month, tourists will be flooding the place. And who benefits from it? First Roman rule, look for those who benefit.
Well, that's a relief. That's a relief. Well, then we're all in danger because Henry might do something else. Robert sat apart, wrapped up in some sort of cloak tent that God knows where he found. When was the last time we saw Justin? He went searching later than everyone else. Have you seen Justin?
No, to be honest, I didn't see anything at all, and I have already regretted going out for 100 times. I really thought I'd look at the sinking ships, and where he was, I didn't see.
Robert sat apart. Okay. Ask about the murder. Robert, let me ask you straight out. Where were you at the time of the murder?
Well, assuming she was killed about 2 hours ago, I was with Justin.
Who's missing now?
Then he suggested we go to a club, but I wasn't interested. When Justin left, I was alone, but she could have been killed any time. 2 hours, that's just a guess.
Okay. Alexander put his secrets to dry under the radiator and was now literally squeezing water out of his jacket. Yeah, I think saying talk to them just does that. Any thoughts about the murder?
Who doesn't have them? Is there something specific you want to ask?
Do you suspect someone?
It's clear as day. They told us about the multiply stuff once, didn't they?
No.
I'm a big fan of boxing, especially the old school fights from back in the day. Have you ever heard about George Foreman?
Yeah, he does grills.
He'd hit his opponent and then watch him fall to the ground like a sack of potatoes. And there's nothing like a heavyweight brawl. Those guys heat like freight trains. But the lightweights, they're like machine guns, firing enough for rapid fire punches. The target is on the ropes, barely standing, and he still manages to throw a dozen more punches before the ref calls it. That's what I call determination.
Determination. We are fueled by it. I didn't quite get your hint.
Well, put your thinking crap on. Maybe you'll figure out it eventually.
It's kind of weird. What does boxing murder have to do with you trying to blame the sports girl? Alexander put his speakers to dry into the radiator. Where were we at the time of the murder? Oh, he didn't like that. Alexander, didn't Linda blow you off? Did you see where she went afterwards? And where were we at the time of the murder?
You got a lot of nerve. That's the kind of question you asked me to my face. But I get it.
I'm trying to be respectful.
I'm the most beaten down guy here. I haven't seen her since the dates. We sat at the TV with Martha, and then I went to the parking lot. I was about to leave, but the road had already been washed out.
Because the bottom line is, I'm not trying to be respectful to the murder. I'm trying to be respectful to everyone. I'm asking you straight up to your face, where were you? Because I'm not talking about you behind your back. Does that make sense? Alexander, yeah, okay. Do you see where Justin went?
Martha and I went to the lighthouse. The wave was so big, it was breathtaking. I decided to check the lighthouse from the inside. I looked inside, but I didn't find the girl there. And when I came back, I saw this sissy shaking like a leaf. It was a bad idea to take him with us. Had to go back before he got stiff.
Okay, leave. Let's talk to Attica next. Laid out her contents on the person table. Like most men, never cease to be amazed how much useless junk I managed to shove in there. Yeah, simply like talking to her just makes her like disappear. I went closer to her. Agatha, are you alright? But I think
It's not yet clear.
I think that did change the dialogue's options.
I'm searching for a sedative just in case. Everyone here is under immense stress, and it's not surprising that they have forgotten about poor Linda. Can we even blame them for that? Do you think one of us could be the killer?
Yes, I do. I have played many games where that was true, particularly Zero Escape. Yes, it is most likely.
I hope you're wrong. Many people are already feeling agitated. What if we start to see each other as the enemy? We must stay united and support one another, no matter what.
But the problem is someone is dead, and there couldn't have been anyone else on the island except us.
I'll make sure to keep a watchful eye on everyone. We need to be sensitive and empathetic at this time. Be careful, Hugh. Although I am not a psychologist, you can always talk to me if you need to. There is no reason to be embarrassed. Everyone is struggling to keep it together.
I got that gradually out the contents of her purse, yes. Yep. Ask her. I got that. Have you seen Who Stayed with Linda?
I don't remember. Honestly, Hugh, I'm in shock myself. I'm trying to remember something useful, but I can't.
And where were you at the time of the murder?
I was in the parking lot at the time of the murder. I was on my way home, but the bridge was already flooded. Then I found out in the restaurant what had happened.
When was the last time she saw Justin? She did not like that answer at all. Did you see which way Justin went?
No.
I'm doing a horrible job interrogating people because by interrogating people, I'm just making everyone hate me. Maybe I should just not talk to anyone. Agatha started crying.
Hugh, I'm the one who stirred everyone up. What if he's hurt too? What if it's because of me?
Agatha gradually laid out comments, so yeah. Well, let's continue to ruin relationships, shall we? I walked to the table where Amanda was sitting. She kept poking around the table for something. Mind if I join you? Amanda looked up and met her eyes with mine. She blurted out a smile, then fidgeted and started fixing her glasses, which had slid off her nose as she crawled under the table without anyone noticing. She seems like the one that's most receptive to everything I do. I don't know why. Like, everyone hates me, but she's just like, yeah, you're cool for some reason. She finally concentrated, sat back, and said,
Don't embarrass me, Hugh. There is just the floor. Well, something on the floor is clinging. I'm uncomfortable. I wanted to find what's there, but I couldn't. It must have looked silly.
why don't you move then?
Oh, indeed. What a fool I am.
Amanda began to look around at vacant tables, but was hesitant to sit down.
But you sat here. I want to go with you.
I smiled at her, indeed a fool, but in a good way. I walked over to the table. Amanda was gently asked about. You see, I could gently ask her, but everyone else is like, "Where were you? What were you doing? You're guilty. Admit it. I know you did it." You know, it's something like that. I gently asked her about the murder. Amanda, what were you in the building the whole time? At the time of the murder, did you notice anything suspicious?
Oh, I don't even know. I often have my head in the clouds. I think I went outside to call a cab, but the phone didn't work. Then I think I saw Henry, and he was walking around all sullen. And then I was sitting inside, and I didn't see anybody.
I walked to the table. Did you see where Justin went? Did you see which way Justin went?
I got out later than everyone else, waiting for Henry to give me the boots. And then I almost got lost in the storm, like Nemo in that fish cartoon. So I don't know where he could have gone. I hope he doesn't get lost.
See, she doesn't get offended by anything I say. Everyone else is like, "You horrible person, flightless bird." I'm like, what do I do? Hi, Martin. Martin tortured the TV remote control, switching all the available channels one by one. Now and then the sound was lost. Now and then the picture was broken. Apparently the wind had damaged the antenna. Wait, look for a cartoon channel.
Very fun.
See? Told you!
Now it wouldn't hurt us to distract ourselves and think about something positive. Corpse of the Bride. A very appropriate cartoon, it seems to me. Not funny?
I mean, cartoons are... Oh, what's so bad about cartoons? I watch cartoons all the time. Nothing to be upset about. Jeez. Everyone hates me except her. She's obviously the killer. She's the only one who seems to like me. So that means she's the odd one in the group.
I love partying, but there's one thing I can't stand. It's funerals. And you know what's the worst part is? When people want to unwind, distract themselves, let go of negativity, and you burst in with a smile, make a few jokes, and they look at you like you desecrated a holy relics. Does the deceased really want his loved ones to walk around grimmer than a cloud for a week? And here I'm sure everyone has some stupid joke around in his head at this moment of mourning. But he holds back.
Oh,
I think to
sorry.
start the third process, you have to gather evidence first. Motives, possibilities, and other detective stuff. Better yet, you should ask the bartender. When she was young, they used to have all kinds of crime shows. You know, CSI for example.
Yeah, but nowadays we have like 16 different CSIs. Let me go back. In here I'm sure everyone has some stupid joke running around his head at the moment of mourning. But he holds back because he can't. It's rude, it's unethical, it's infuriating. What do you personally think?
What do I think? I guess you don't have to be a genius to point the finger at Robert. I'm not saying it was him, but except for him, everyone acted according to the plan. And he went alone to the wharf? Correction. He said he went to the wharf. Where he really was, we have no idea. And why? To see the ships? You do realize, if I say such nonsense, they will take me to an insane asylum. It's a very convenient image for dark affairs. If we played Mafia, I'd kill him on principle. Because you don't know what to expect from such types.
Mafia is like werewolf, right? Never played Mafia, but I do know werewolf. Turns out that Martin has a witness at the time of the murder, although we don't know exactly when it happened. Where were you? Have you seen Linda with someone after the dates?
I'm not going to answer this question without my lawyer.
Oh, come on!
Come on! I'm kidding.
Ah.
Honestly, I haven't seen her anywhere since the dates.
Yeah, so was I. May I ask where you were at the time of the murder?
I've been waiting for my driver to pull up and call me back. So I was stuck at the TV the whole time, waiting for my driver to come up and call me back. You can ask Renata. Oh, listen, did you really think I could do such a thing? That's funny. You know, once we were on our way to a barbecue and we ran over a poor rabbit. I still have nightmares about it. I can't imagine how much I will have to spend on counseling after that nightmare.
Martin, when was the last time you saw Justin? Did you see which way Justin went?
No idea. Alexander and I went out together. We barely made it to the lighthouse. He tells me he's going to check what's inside. I decided to look down the ravine, and there I was pelted with a wave. Almost pushed me down. And then I turned around, and Alexander is laughing. And I was on the verge of life and death. I don't know where he is. Since then, I haven't seen him.
Okay, leave. So we know, talk to Robert again. This guy. Because apparently he didn't go. Suddenly the lights went out. That was weird. I didn't even get a chance to fully talk to everyone, and the lights didn't go out until I got back from my journal, and all of a sudden, just boom. The background noise of the working TV was drowning in darkness. A few seconds and the silence was erupted, replaced by a commotion. Everyone was nervous enough as it was to get the blackout from turning into a panic. Slowly the embers in the fireplace faded, keeping me from losing my bearings. I shuddered at the clatter of falling furniture. Someone had accidentally knocked over a chair.
Ladies and gentlemen, please refrain from panicking. There is no cause for alarm.
Henry tried unsuccessfully to calm us down, but those gathered were already on edge. It only took a small match for the anxiety to return with renewed force. Henry came closer to me and shouted so hard my ears perked up.
I extend my gratitude for your attention. It's plausible that the storm may have caused damage to the street cable, or a fuse may have been blown.
Or someone did it.
Fortunately, we possess a backup generator located in the basement. It only requires a bit of elbow grease to bring it to life, and the power shall be restored.
Alright, let's move to the fireplace, where there's more light and it's quieter for everyone.
Do you have candles here?
I remember that I had just his flashlight. Taking it out of my jacket, I began to light up the room. Excuse me, I have a flashlight. Henry, I can shine it and you can turn on the generator.
I implore you to maintain composure. There is no need to concern yourselves. This is my boat, and I shall handle the situation accordingly.
Suspicious. Henry was right, let's wait or I'm good. I think I am good enough to save. Let me help. Suspicious bird. Yeah, I need to be a suspicious bird here. Henry turned the flashlight on and off several times, and then we walked very slowly to the door in the stairs that led to the basement. It was open. I'd never been down there before. Who would want to run to the basement on a quick date, and who would want to go down the basement in the dark when there's a killer out there? Stupid bird. Although Dana might have well, and maybe even Robert.
Let us proceed with caution, as the stairs are somewhat steep. Please utilize the wall as a guide. Unfortunately, it's perpetually dark in this area, and I have yet to replace the light bulb.
Well, that's convenient. Before I reached the bottom step, I could smell rain and dampness in the air. Hey, kitty. I'm telling you that kitty's everywhere. I took a step forward and immediately jumped back, nearly falling on the steps. A thin layer of water covered the entire floor, and several documents were floating around the support leg. Henry shined a flashlight across the room. The window appeared to be open and the water was slowly trickling along the wall inside. Oh, that's not good.
The generator is situated across the room. Simply pull the lever and I shall inform you of the results. I am certain it is primed, though perhaps not entirely. You pull the knob and I shall ascertain whether the lights have been restored.
Am I gonna get electrocuted doing this? Sounds easy. I took a step forward and heard water squelching under my feet. Great, now I'm wet too. The basement was a few centimeters flooded, possibly the result of the storm and the open window. Though there were some barrels and crates around, if the food was in them, the ones below would definitely go bad. The generator looked new. Henry wasn't stingy about safety and comfort. I put my hand on the heavy, shining lever. Somewhere behind me, I heard Henry's voice say, "Son? Wait, there's water in here." My brain instantly realized what was happening, but my hand had already started the generator. The electric shock stopped my heart in an instant, and the scorched nerves caused a painful shock that knocked me unconscious. I called that one. Forever. Yep, I called that one. Electrocuted. I feel good knowing that that was gonna happen though. I mean, granted, it was a second too late, but whatever. So it seems like it auto-saves at critical points, which is very nice.
I implore you to maintain composure.
Henry's right.
There is no need to
I love basements. People end up in the ground, but why are they so eager to build these high-rises? Let me go too.
By the way, anyone know out there if turning on a generator would actually electrocute you? I mean, I'm pretty sure they built those to be able to handle water, right? But, I mean, my first instinct was that it was going to electrocute me, so maybe that's what happens. Henry didn't argue with Robert, especially since two of them would be easier to manage in the pitch dark.
The generator is in the basement. Grab a flashlight and follow me. Renee, you know this bar like the back of your hand, so I'm sure the lack of light won't stop you from making something stronger for my return.
I just hope you had better luck than I did.
No, sweet. I got this.
You could see the glow of the lantern moving away from us. Soon it was gone altogether. It took my eyes a while to get used to the darkness. I heard a door creak, apparently the ones that led to the basement. I looked closer and saw Amanda listening for noises from the basement. The others were minding their own business, so I couldn't see anyone in the darkness. Whoa! A sudden sound, sharp cuts through the silence.
Oh my goodness, what's that?
Sound of dishes breaking.
Did you break something?
Are you afraid?
The girls panicked.
Chill, ladies. I'm just hooking up Henry with his whiskey fix like he asked.
Please don't scare me like that. I thought someone had fallen in the dark.
Damn, baby. How much you gonna scare us? Don't get it twisted if Amanda don't get shook like that. But don't worry. I'll pour some whiskey for Henry.
I don't know, Amanda looked like she was very shook.
Pleasant sound.
Any y'all wanna drink while I'm back here slaying booze? Agatha, you look like you could use a little courage in the cup of yours.
Finally, my eyes got used to this darkness. Now I could see the girls and guys. It turns out we were all gathered in a restaurant. The darkness brings us closer together. How paradoxical. Renata was working behind the bar.
I don't think alcohol is appropriate right now. We need to keep our minds sober.
I don't think you can make me a cocktail in the dark, but it really can't hurt to have a drink now.
I'll have a mojito with less rum, please.
Tomato juice.
I can't drink alcohol yet. Do you have any juice? Make me an energy drink cocktail.
I don't like to taste alcohol anyway. It's the aftertaste. Looks like we're getting cocky, but Renata fell into her own trap. Hate how the UI gets rid of the girls. Like, I just want to get rid of this and leave this. I don't think it's worth drinking now. I turned around to hear a sudden shout from the basement. I heard the sound of breaking glass. Renata must have dropped the glass in fright. From the basement stairs came a frantic stamping sound. Someone was climbing in a hurry, barely looking around under the feet and occasionally stumbling. I noticed several shadows moving toward the noise. Henry came out with a flashlight. He was unrecognizable. There was something frightening about such a strong and healthy man experiencing such genuine terror.
He pulled the lever. He pulled.
Oh, don't tell me that he died. Henry mumbled so much that we didn't immediately understand his words.
Who pulled? What the hell is going on here, Henry?
What happened again? What lever? When is the light coming?
He didn't have his face on. He didn't answer anything. He just stood there in a stupor.
Henry? Honey, what's going on? Don't scare me like that.
Henry walked over to the liquor stand, grabbed the first bottle he could get his hands on, and after a second he took a sip from his throat. Then he sat down at the table closest to him and said in a calmer voice,
He pulled it and there is water. There's a leak somewhere. There is water all over the floor. And he pulled the lever. He was electrocuted.
And what's interesting is when I went down though, he actually said, hey, I'm pretty sure it's primed. And then he waited until just as I pulled the lever to say something like stop. I wonder if he's killing people. Amelia had apparently already gone down to the basement before a voice came from there.
How did he manage to electrocute himself? The generator is outboard. It's not in the water.
Interesting.
How should I know? He just yanked. And then there was a barely perceptible flash and such a scary sound. Like a crack or a hiss, and that was it. And he fell.
Someone could have also sabotaged the thing to cause it to kill someone. It doesn't have to have been Henry, although who knew that there was a generator downstairs? Henry and her, right? Renata?
What the hell is this? There is a wire in the water. Where?
Yeah, so the generator didn't cause the death.
Where does the wire come from?
It was heard Amelia climbing back up. She returned to the hall.
The wire hung on the ceiling, and someone ripped it out of the groove. Or maybe it fell out by accident. I haven't figured it out yet. It's dark.
Oh my god, who could have done such a thing? I'm afraid.
Henry stood up from the sharp chair so that it fell to the floor, making a loud, noisy sound.
It can't be. And why would there be water there? Nothing ever leaked in there.
Why the hell did you send him to turn on the generator instead of doing it to yourself, huh?
What are you implying?
I'm not insinuating. I'm telling you straight up. It's your house and your problems, and it's up to you to fix them.
This does look suspicious. If Robert died while plugging in the electricity, how come Henry himself wasn't hurt?
Stop it! A person just died in front of him. Leave him alone.
Jackals are more self-control than you.
Right, let's get the lights back on first. And we have to do something about Robert. He can't just lie there in the water.
I agree. Guys, let's get him upstairs. Amelia, I'll help you with the light.
Okay, but I could have done it myself.
We went down into the basement. Oh my gosh. The elements continued to rage outside the window, lighting up the room from time to time. Just a horrific scene. There's really no other way to describe it, just... Yeesh, that was us. I noticed a body on the floor. The basement had become a rain pool. Instead of waiting for the guys to carry the body upstairs, Amelia fearlessly stepped into the water. Of course, the room was de-energized and there was no threat. Now Robert thought as much. Now as he lay half submerged into the murky water that seemed to have entered the basement through the open window. Amelia was already pacing in the water. She stepped over the once alive man and began to examine the generator. A fine choice. Admire her bravery or criticize her recklessness. Pulling the cable out of the water, Amelia wiped the wires clean with the dry rag to remove any excess moisture and avoid a short circuit. No, all I had to do was push the ill-fated switch. After what had happened, I would have triple checked, but Amelia pulled the knob as if nothing had happened. The lights flickered on, and the rain outside the window was joined by the sound of the generator. Breathing out, I headed upstairs where, judging by the noise, heated discussion was already in full swing. I love the reflection here. It looks super cool. It wasn't so deadly in the sight of a murder scene. When the light came on, everyone rejoiced unconcealed, and only Henry snatched a whole bottle instead of a glass of whiskey and sat apart from everyone else. Renata sits down beside him and comforts him. The rest of us, on the other hand, are seated in a makeshift circle.
So you're saying that the wires were deliberately cut and loaded into the water? Are you sure it's not an accident?
If the big guy wasn't lying, it wasn't enough to just throw the wire in the floor. You had to flood the basement somehow.
There was an open window near the ceiling. No wonder the water quickly flooded the floor in such a storm.
However, we don't know if it was intentionally opened.
The window is a very good point. It wasn't broken, it was just open. It was clearly man-made, not nature.
I can't believe someone would do this on purpose.
It's very easy for a window to blow out in a hurricane, but in this case, it wasn't the nature that did it.
Sometimes the answer looks you right in the eye.
This is all too complicated. Who would think of such a thing?
The one who killed Linda.
I have no idea who could do that. Play a lot of video games, such things will come to your mind. For the military, it would be easy. Let's not cast aspersions on anyone. I have no idea who could do that. I can't imagine who could do that.
Hold up, fellas. Let's not go too crazy now.
Hey yo, listen up. We need a decision here. No time for democracy.
Should I still raise my hand? We're not in school.
Henry was clearly packed into a corner. From the pained expression on his face, he seemed to seriously regret that it wasn't him who was electrocuted. Renata stood by and at least somehow stopped the aggression from the guys.
I ask you again, Henry. Why in the world would you let him get ahead of you?
Henry, look at the situation from a point of view. You went to turn on the generator, and the other one ended up in the water. And now he's dead.
Did he really go into the water? Or did you insist?
Dear, I beg to know that you have moved directly to accusations, and I know that some of them are made in a rather expressive manner.
Will you stop judging the question?
Oh, what do you want to hear? I didn't ask him to get in the water, and I didn't even ask him to get in the goddamn basement. How was I supposed to know? If I'd have known, I never would have gone down there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all... Everyone is casting dispersions on everyone else, and everyone doesn't trust each other. This is Danganronpa level stuff right here.
Really? Why would Henry kill him? And in this way?
Amanda tried to reason with everyone, so small, yet she wasn't able to stand beside Renata, creating an imaginary wall between the guys and Henry. I, on the other hand, continued to watch from the sidelines.
Have you decided to become a lawyer? Became an expert on motives for murder? We all seen each other for the first time, so no one has a motive.
How do I know what's in his head? We are seeing each other for the first time.
Why is the killer necessarily one of us? Could he be out there? On the street? One of the tourists? Or just one of the locals?
If so, how did he get into the basement? He couldn't have opened the window from the outside.
The guys' arguments are justified, but they didn't take into account that you could get into the basement only through the window. The door to the basement is on the first floor, and we didn't put guards there.
Maybe it's just a coincidence, an accident, nothing more.
Could this be intentional? I'm sorry, I realize you can't speak ill of dead people, but Robert was a very particular young man.
There's a devil's in the quiet pit, as they say. Who knows what friends he might have, and what enemies he might have.
Renata pushed me from behind. She stood in complete silence for a while, as if she were hovering. I didn't know what to say to her. A body had been found in the restaurant, and now there was going to be an investigation which could have a negative impact on the establishment and on her as well. She suddenly came out of her stupor, pulling a charming smile over her face, and said,
Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go get them rooms ready. This storm ain't gonna let up till dawn. I can feel it in my bones. Sound good?
Renata, are you okay? I mean, we can take care of it ourselves, if anything.
Nah, thanks though, Hugh. This is our house, so I gotta take care of everything myself. Plus, we'll sleep better that way and the time will fly by faster.
Listen, maybe we should all pair up so no one is alone.
The most interesting thing has begun. I will stay awake.
Good idea. I hope the showers work in their rooms, because I got really dirty in that basement.
Renata, this is a good idea. Thank you. I wouldn't say no to a warm bed. And that, can I get a higher number? Don't laugh. I just don't like first and second floors, so...
When I'm in a hotel, I don't like lower floors either, but for probably a totally different reason than her. And that is, if I'm on a lower floor in the hotels on the street, sometimes the cars on the street can keep me up. So I usually like to be on like the 4th or 5th floor, so that way I can hear the traffic. I know that sounds weird, but I mean, it is what it is. Oh, I missed a line there. Hold on. I don't mind going to bed myself. The only thing I wanted to do that day was forget it as soon as possible. But the group's fierce enthusiasm for going to the rooms made me uncomfortable. Everything that happened today was no accident. At least, I think it was. We should worry about protecting ourselves first, before we worry about a shower and a warm bed.
I could protect one of our girls tonight.
All the girls turned away as if on cue as to not meet Alexander's gaze. He in turn shook his head disappointedly and headed off for the fireplace.
Is there an outlet in the room? I need to charge my phone.
There's no... Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess the generator is still the power. We can see the TV flickering, the lights on. Mars still doesn't understand what his situation is. Although maybe in his connections want to call for help, then I don't mind. Although, granted, you're probably not going to be able to get any signal. So the phone is kind of useless. Suddenly the TV went out and several lights on the ceiling flashed menacingly. The light in the room dimmed. Ah, great. Speaking of. Normally in horror movies, this is when lightning strikes and thunder is heard outside the window. In our case, this didn't happen, but it was creepy enough without it. Henry, who had been sitting in a poorly lit corner since then, got up and walked over to the bar. From the first look at him, I could tell he was troubled. He took a bottle from the counter, poured himself a drink, and looking at the glass without turning to us, said in a monotone,
You are not happy yet. There is enough fuel in the generator for a couple of hours, and then we'll all be in the dark again. I'm sorry.
Henry, maybe it's not the best time for a drink. Renata, could you please fill up the generator?
Refill? I thought it was on battery.
Damn it! Does anything in your house work?
And the show goes on.
Of course you can, honey. Ain't nobody thought it would come to this, though.
A candle was lit in the darkness. Renata held it up to illuminate the room. Then she passed the lighter and another candle lit Amelia, who began arranging the lit candles on the tables.
No one in the Friday the 13th thought it would come to this either. So, where's the fuel? Tell me it's not here.
Is this true? Somehow, too many coincidences on the level player field.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, that's the one with Jason, right? I always get them confused. I never really seen any of his movies. I've seen a couple of the the Nightmare series, but not the Friday the 13th.
That's right. The fuel for the generator is in the doghouse.
You've got to be kidding me. How much of this gasoline is enough for us?
The light bulbs abruptly turned off and only a pair of dim candles remained to illuminate the room. The noise of the basement generator gradually faded and melted into silence.
Apparently, not for long.
Well, well, well. Ain't no need to freak out just yet.
I think it's time to panic.
Yeah, I mean, it may be about time to panic.
I feel kind of bad.
Now, all that left was in the restaurant room was the red pulsing and flickering light of the fireplace frame. Amanda was shifting nervously from foot to foot. We all had obvious reason to be excited and worried, but he was already very nervous. Agatha quickly took notice and decided to take matters into her own hands.
Do we have any more candles?
Several figures, barely discernible in the darkness, moved toward the fireplace, and Renata raised a candle above her head. Alexander turned on the flashlight and pointed it under her feet. Like a moth, they all crowded around him, not wanting to remain in a pitch darkness.
I hope the fuel for the generator is in stock there, or I wouldn't want to go there for nothing.
Yeah. Like Henry said, the fuel's down by the dock. He didn't want to keep no flammable stuff in the big house.
Henry sat at the table, approvingly raised a shot of glass of hot liquor, blessing us for the journey.
It must be for safety reasons, right? How ironic. Okay, I see. And who will go there?
Yeesh. Okay, definitely save here. I'll go get some fuel. Just tell me how to get there. Alexander, go. It'll be easy for you. Not Mark to go. Anything is better than blabbering. Well, here we go. This is his house. I feel like if I go, I'm gonna die. I feel like Henry going is the best idea. But then again, I don't know if he's a killer. I think someone else is, and getting rid of Henry is probably bad. Because he does know the house best. But then again, sending Alexander or Martin out. Too bad we can't send Robert. Oh, forgot, he already dead. Never mind. He's already dead. Yeah, well, I mean, sending a dead person wouldn't be a bad idea either. So I guess when they're dead, they stabbed to death, electrocuted, and Justin is missing. Interesting. Alexander or Martin? Such a cool thing to say. I think Alexander's probably the best one to do it. Ah, screw it. Let Martin go.
Uh-oh. I don't know my way around in the dark. And this weather doesn't make me happy. Besides, I've already been here today.
Uh-huh. I like how you're backing out of this. Okay, I see. And who will go there? Alright, we're gonna do Alexander and then we'll go ourselves. I don't want to send Henry. He's like my last choice.
What are you up to? If you're a soldier, you're expendable? I think we can sit in the dark too.
Alright, well, I guess I'm going because I don't want to send Henry. Why didn't anyone talk me out of this idea? I put on my raincoat, opened the door to the storm. Judging by the downpour, the weather had only worsened, and I didn't understand my impulse to go anywhere. But now it would be stupid and cowardly to refuse. Could it be my conscience or my desire to be a hero? In fact, we could easily spend this night without light. Whoa. Whoa. I walked carefully down the path that led to the cottage near the pier. In my chest, an irritating feeling of anxiety was growing, and my thoughts were treacherously confused. Anxiety mixed with fear of the unknown. When I got to the cabin, I turned around sharply at the rustle behind me. It sounded like the wind had picked a dry branch off a tree I need to take my mind off of my thoughts and stop getting so wound up. I was about to start suspecting the air. I opened the door and stepped inside. I crossed the threshold, and there was a smell of old age in the air, as if time had stopped there. Unknown rustles and flickering shadows outside the window created an atmosphere of mystery. My fingers found the switch, and the lights flashed, leading to the corners of the room. The outlines of furniture and old tools became clear. The dust rose into the air. Looking around, I noticed a steel barrel in the corner of the house. They usually keep combustible mixtures in it. Apparently, this is what I came here for. I hope there's something left in there. I tried to move it, no luck. It was either stuck to the floor or completely full. I unscrewed the cap on the back, and I smelled a pleasant gasoline scent. There were empty canisters next to it, which was where I intended to pour the fuel with the hose. With a bit of struggle, I managed to get the hose down the throat. I grabbed the canister. My hands smelled like gasoline. It took me a few seconds to get dirty. While I was refueling, I heard some noise behind me again, or behind the walls. Finally, I poured the fuel into large canisters, set it aside. There's someone else out here with me. I was about to find a rag to wipe my hands with when I heard the noise again. Uh-oh. Now I was sure it was coming from outside. I decided to go outside and see what the noise was, so I went to the door. Then I tried again, but even the force I put into it wouldn't open. Huh? So I would try to grab a weapon in here. I saw something flying through the ajar window and fall to the floor, shattering. Did someone just Molotov cocktail me? I turned my head and saw the flames blazing brightly. They did! In quick bursts, the flames were engulfing everything around them. The smoke from the fire filled the whole house. My heart clenched. Instantly, it was hard to breathe. All-consuming fire, the pain of hell. And with that pain, I was all alone. Something has to be done. I can move around. A barrel of fuel. You should touch it, only get worse. Gasoline canister. It's heavy. I could try to kick through the door. I slammed the canister against the door once more, and canister slipped out of my hands. It fell straight into the flames. I reached sharply for it, but the fire was burning my palms. The hero died, burned alive. And I wonder if there's any way to even get out of here. Like, if I had to guess, there's probably not, right? I mean, it did save. It did save here. That makes me think that it's unwinnable. I maybe try it off camera to check it out. But for now, my name is FlightlessBird. This is your story-based gaming channel. This is our continued blind let's play of 111. Do any of you guys have any new thoughts or theories on what's going on? Do you know who the killer is? Obviously, if you know because you played the game before, you've seen the game before, don't say anything. But if you have guesses or something, I would love to hear them. Thank you once again to VV Latvia for a copy of this game. Much appreciate you. VV is the one with the VV avatar in the comment section, which is wonderful because we're playing Final Fantasy IX on the channel as a live stream. So I thought that was the universe just coming together perfectly. You know what I mean? Well, my friends, you have a wonderful, fantastic, amazing, awesome day, and until next time, so long and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you'd like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. But before we go, please remember that you matter, and you are brilliant, and you are loved, and you should always be true to yourself. Never let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly, feathered, flightless bird.